He just won the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award for the best player out of the state of Texas for his quarterback play at Army at West Point. Bryson Daily from Abernathy High School with us on 365 Sports. Man, what a year. I know you're having a great run, but what does it mean for a young kid from Texas, now a young man at West Point, to win an award with Earl Campbell's name on it?
It's awesome. My family was big UT fans growing up, so I knew all about Earl Campbell, the Tyler Rose, Earl Campbell, Ricky Williams, and some of the great running backs that played there. But yeah, I grew up knowing that name in my household, and it's an absolute honor to win an award with his name on it. It's pretty cool.
Bryson, you guys have been one of the biggest surprises of the season. You and Navy, who you're going to see here in a couple months, which is really exciting for all of us as football fans. But do you think people are surprised at how diverse your offense is, even within the scheme that they've been seeing for years?
Yeah, I think, we came in this season with a lot of unknowns. We didn't have the success we wanted to last year in a different offense. We came in with a new coordinator, so I think a lot of people just didn't know what to expect. But we knew in this building what we had, how good of a coordinator Coach Worley was, and, how good of the players were that we had here. So, it wasn't a surprise to us.
I talked to your coach, Justin Wiley. He was on the staff at Abernathy when you were there. By the way, he says hi. He told me that what you ran at Abernathy was pretty similar to what he sees what you're running at Army. Is that correct? Did that make that transition a lot easier?
Yeah, there's a few schemes for sure that we ran. We ran a lot of gun option stuff at Abernathy, a lot of QB power, QB zone. And we run a good amount of that here. So that did help the transition quite a bit. And, I got a lot of carries in high school. So, that was, not a big change as I came here.
He called you a hometown hero. I know with the fact that you're at a military academy, the last thing you think about is yourself. But he said that his son was the ball boy. He now wears 13, and everybody looks up to what Bryson Daily represented when you were at high school there. What does that mean to you?
It's an absolute honor as well. I mean, because when I was a ball boy, just like his sons were, I looked up to those players ahead of me and, looked up to them, wanted to be them someday. So just to see that, cycle keep going is pretty cool. And it just tells you how important football is in Texas.
Bryson Daily, the quarterback at West Point, with us on 365 Sports. Paul?
All right, if for those who have not been to Abernathy, Texas in our viewing audience, or to West Texas, which I've heard Texas described as it's like really 5 states in one, and West Texas is its own kind of state within the state. What would you say would bring people to Abernathy, or is the best part about it?
Yeah, I think all what you said was accurate. Very different parts of Texas. It's such a big state. As far as what would bring you to West Texas, I'm not so sure unless Texas Tech game or something. But it's great. It's the best part about it's the people there. It's just good, hardworking people. That are good people too. And it was a great place to grow up. Play football and go to school. The people in the communities rally behind their sports and their young people, and that was so great about growing up in West Texas.
Bryson, what's it like to be at a service academy and representing not only West Point, service academies in general, your hometown, but the United States?
Yeah, it's, again, an honor. So many great people have come to this institution. Of course, big military officers, generals, and, U.S. presidents. And, we have people come in our building every day that are very important and that have done some great things in our world, in our country. And just getting to, wear the brand of Army and get to play for it is pretty special, knowing all the people you represent, that have gone here, that serve in the Army, and just all the people who are connected to this place.
What is your specialty going to be when you're done playing football?
So right now, we don't learn until December.
Okay.
What branch we're going into. I put engineers with a detail of infantry as my number 1 overall. So basically, I would start out as an infantry officer and transition into the engineer corps as my career progresses. So that's what I'm hoping for.
I have one of the high school coaches here in Waco area that coaches at Midway now. Joe Gillespie was at Tulsa, TCU. He also was from Stephenville. And when he was at Tulsa, they played Navy like 8 times and beat them once because they could not prepare in time for the triple option and what Navy was doing or what Army was doing or what Air Force has, of course, done as well. How many reps? What is the precision, the perfect offense for the military academies? Can you try to put that into words?
Yeah. It's a very fundamental offense, like the exact footwork of every play, the exact reads of every play, knowing your specific job. It's truly a system as an offense. You're not just running plays. You're running a system, and it's all based off of, going against certain fronts and, certain read keys on every play. And, it takes a lot of mental capacity for our guys. And that's why, we have a lot of guys that don't play until they're junior, seniors, just because it takes a while to understand it. So it presents a problem for opposing defenses trying to get ready for it in a week or 2 weeks. That works to our advantage.
It's appropriate then for a service academy to have something that's so tactical, right?
No doubt. Yeah. I mean, you got to have a lot on your plate here at West Point, and that's no different here up at the football team here. So I think it's a really good fit for the guys we have.
Coach Wiley told me when he was on defense at the time that you guys collided. You were playing outside linebacker. You collided in practice one day, and he knocked the heck, and both of you just like it was a collision. And you said to him, that's the hardest you think you've been hit in 2 years. Do you remember that moment?
I think I do. I ran into him pretty good. He's a pretty big guy. We smoked each other. I think he got the better of me actually that day.
He said that I think it was may have been the year of COVID or what year it was. You're playing Canadian, maybe in the semifinals, and you had a collision with a guy from Canadian. We know their history as a football tradition-rich power, and you were on your way to the sideline, and you glanced at him and said, "Coach, you're now number 2." As far as the hardest collision you remember?
Yeah, no, that was definitely the hardest I've ever been hit. I think to this day. Saul Escamilla, he was the kid from Canadian. I still remember. I talked to him after the game. I've talked to him a couple times since then. He smoked me on a 2-point play. Ball came out. Like he got me that day, and Canadian got us that day. They were a great team that we always went up against.
I love that you remember him.
Yeah, Escamilla. Yeah, that was a 35-31 game, I think, in the semis. Is that right, or quarters?
Regional final. Yeah,
regional finals. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you are making that decision to make that pitch, make that handoff, and it is, I mean, it's a second and a half that you really have to make it. What could you compare it to mentally about how fast you have to make that decision?
It's a good question. Maybe not to the extent of like hitting a baseball. That's really fast. But honestly, a lot that goes into it is pre-play, that you have a really good idea of what read you think is going to happen. Mm-hmm. The defense doesn't always play along. They do their own thing sometimes, but you have a pretty good idea of what the read's going to be. But then once the play starts, I'd say it's similar to hitting a baseball. You got to make that decision off what they do, pretty quick.
If you get somebody out of position early in the game with what you run, no matter the opponent, because I remember when I was younger, and again, I'm 65, Bryson, so 3 times older than you, but we played against a triple option team my last game I ever played, thank goodness, and I made the wrong decision on the pitch, and from that point on, it was like Chinese to me. Do you feel that same way about what a team does against you early in the game if you get them out of whack?
If we find some success early and we get them in a front that that we know we can have success against, we try to stay in that and keep attacking that. But, with the sideline iPads now, teams are able to adjust pretty quick, just as we are able to adjust to their defense. So, it's just a constant game of chess, trying to get into the best looks for our guys.
What does it mean for you guys to be having such a good season, just for the future of the young guys out there who are considering Army football? Because it is Army, Navy, Air Force. It's a different commitment than you make anywhere else. And it can be daunting and intimidating, but to see you guys having so much success, how much do you think that helps that next generation go, oh, this can be, I know it's going to be hard, but it can be super fun too?
Yeah, it's awesome, for recruiting in the future of the program, just for us to continue to try to have success, because it is a big decision to make, and there's a lot of variables that go into it. But it's the most rewarding experience. Even before this year and having this success, is extremely rewarding. The people I've met, the things I've gotten to do, it's a very special place. And when you're winning, it just makes it that much better. Hopefully this encourages more guys to come here, because it truly is one decision that no one regrets.
Before the 2023 season, you were on the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award watch list. And obviously last year you mentioned things did not go so well, but you had a good year. What does it mean to then, and I mentioned at the beginning, as far as winning an award with his name on it, then all of a sudden here you are emerging for this year to represent Abernathy, West Point, and really the state of Texas with this award?
Yeah, like I said, growing up in Abernathy, growing up in West Texas, the amount of support I got from those people was tremendous. And still to this day, I have, people from back home coming to games. Like I had a ton of fans at Tulsa get to come up, and I've had some people come all the way up here to New York to watch us play. So just being able to represent my community in Texas to the best of my ability has been awesome. And then now just trying to represent West Point in the Army as best as I can. I'm trying my best every day.
No better backdrop than their stadium in the fall
right
now.
It
looks unbelievable. By the way, speaking of Earl Campbell, he threw an Earl Campbell stiff arm last week.
I saw that.
Straight up and down.
It went viral.
Yeah.
You absolutely you rocked the guy with that stiff arm, Bryson.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to, get my hand good placement and that tackle. So.
Last thing, if you don't mind, and again, congratulations on the honors, but also the 6-0 start and what you guys are doing, ranked in the top 25, which is great. What does it mean when you walk around that gorgeous campus in New York? And I've flown into New York and seen it. It's glorious to be able to represent the West Point.
You're right. Right now it is beautiful here. Best weather in the fall, I think, anywhere in the country. It's a good place to be. But yeah, just, trying to go 1-0 every week and represent this school, this program, and all the people who've came before it. That's our goal, and we're trying to do that this week, just go 1-0.
Congratulations, Bryson. Thanks for your time. As Coach Wiley said, you're 1 in a million. I know you won't say that. He said that you made everybody else around you better. That's also what the West Point represents. Congratulations. Continued luck to the Cadets, and thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thanks, Coach Wiley, and beat Navy.
There you go. It's Bryson Daily, quarterback at West Point. What a year they're having. I mean, they're good. And he's a part of it from Abernathy High School. I called the main number to Abernathy because we didn't get much time, Garrett. It was about because, we're trying to – and the lady who answered the phone at the school, Abernathy High School, and she was the sweetest lady. And I asked her about, do you know somebody on campus? I tried to get a hold of Coach Wiley. He was probably at athletics period. I finally did. And she said, oh, my God, Bryson Daily, everybody loves him. He's like everybody loves him. And that's what they think. And you would think that a multi-sport star in high school, as you could imagine, and now a star quarterback at Army.
A city of 2,800. Abernathy
Absolutely.
is 2,800 people.
Mm-hmm.
It is. You look at the picture, you can go, I've been through Abernathy before. It is exactly what you think it is. Whatever you're imagining of a small West Texas town, it absolutely is that. That's what it is.
And he's a hometown hero.
Literally.
The ball boy story with the coach's son and what he was, Bryson Daily. Appreciate the time. Thanks to the media relations at the West Point, Eric and company. We appreciate your time. This is 365 Sports.